Hey everybody, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in to the first annual Day of Giving. I'm Will Boyja.
And I'm Brittany Siga.
Thank you for coming or tuning in. We're going to talk about the Day of Giving. Now, I am a fourth year student, junior. I've been here. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Brittany,
I'm a fourth year senior. I'll be graduating on Saturday.
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm graduating with a degree in public relations as well as equestrian studies. So,
Wow, you're a double major?
yeah.
You're fancy. I couldn't do that. So, one of the things is I'm part of UFTV and you're part of PRSSA.
Yep. And we've both gotten scholarships from the University of Findlay to be able to be here today.
Very much so. Endowed scholarships, just merit scholarships, different types of scholarships, and we're grateful for those scholarships.
They make it possible for not only us to be here as students, but for the clubs on campus to run as well.
Yeah, one of the good things about UFTV is we got some money from Student Affairs to buy a camera and a tripod, so that's great for us.
Yeah, that's really great for UFTV.
We have Dr. Tully over here, the Dean of College of Liberal Arts, if I'm correct. How
You are
doing,
correct.
sir?
Doing great. Glad to be here today.
So, can we get a little background on you?
Sure. What would you like to know?
What college you went to?
I started at the University of Illinois, Chicago. I got my bachelor's degree there in English, although I started as a biochemistry major. Try to figure that one out. Then I got a master's degree from Southern Illinois University. I moved on to Bowling Green, got another master's degree, and I finished up with my PhD at Case Western. And I've been a Buckeye for 15 years.
Okay, so what are your roles as they pertain to the students at the University of Findlay?
Well, you all know you're part of the College of Liberal Arts, and happy to have UFTV as part of that. 21 majors in the college, and I see our role as kind of contrary to the role you might have seen in the media played out in movies like Animal House, right? Dean Wormer, inaccessible, grumpy, students only come to them with problems. Try to have an open door to really know that when students have good or bad news, they can come to us and we can help them, solve their problems or just celebrate in their successes.
Yeah.
What is important to you when it comes to giving back to the university?
Well, this is my home. My wife works here, I work here, been here 16 years now combined, and it makes a difference here, I think, because we're not an Ohio State, we're not a Bowling Green. You really see the difference in a one-on-one basis. Small class sizes, experiences that more folks can be a part of. You know your money's making a difference immediately because you know most of the folks that it goes to intimately.
So what is the scholarship impact on students in the College of Liberal Arts?
Well, there are many scholarships that we have. We have some for overseas experiences, for intercultural experiences, for language experiences. You both said you were recipients of scholarships. So, of course, with 21 majors, it really depends upon what you're talking about, but we have scholarships available for all of our majors within the college.
What would you say is your favorite part about being Dean of College of Liberal Arts? Like, why Liberal
Wow.
Arts out of every different college?
Favorites are tough because there's so many great things about it. Obviously, the experiences that I get to see with students, because if you're just in a department, sometimes you don't get to see kind of the 8-mile view of all the departments. I get to see what's going on with the radio station and the newspaper. I get to see what happens with our literary magazine. I'm included in so many events where students are getting awards and I'm celebrating in their success. So I think probably my favorite thing is just being able to see such a scattershot of our student body in their successes as they go through their years here.
Have you seen any direct correlation between students receiving scholarships and the way that they perform?
Absolutely. Someone in your own major in communication who's a recent graduate and was our speaker at the Symposium for Scholarship and Creativity, Abby Nickel. Perfect example, somebody that received a good number of scholarships here, very successful, working as a journalist now in Evansville. I would hold her up as a personal example of someone who's really thrived with the help we've given her.
Yeah. So what do you think it means to a student when they receive financial aid in the form of a scholarship?
Well, I'll speak to myself as a first-generation college student. Getting that first scholarship meant everything to me. I couldn't have gone without it. My parents had a high school education and did not make a lot of money. So I would assume that my experience is similar to those folks that come from backgrounds that maybe don't have as much money. It means the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have any more questions?
None that I can think of.
Well, you said you went to the University of Illinois at Chicago. Are you from the Chicagoland area?
That's where I grew up, Chicago. Yes, Southsider.
Okay, I'm actually from Homewood.
Okay, I know it well. Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad lives in Oak Forest. It's
Oh,
right
okay,
down the
that's
street.
not too
Yeah.
far. Yeah, my dad lives in Ashburn on the west side.
Okay, I grew up in Marquette Park.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
really close. Okay,
I'm a White
yeah.
Sox fan, so
I'm a Cubs fan. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'll have to agree to
no
disagree.
rivals.
So what has been the experiential learning impact in the College of Liberal Arts?
I think the term experiential learning is a new one, and it's good that we're bringing focus to it, but we've always had it. I mean, all of our majors, if you consider being an English major, you can write, produce, edit the journal. As a communication major, everything you do is experiential learning. Art majors as well, whether they're working on a commission or they're doing a mural, all of it is, I think, experiential, but I think we're bringing more focus to it now, so we make sure that every student has that experience.
What would you say is the best way to get students involved into getting that, being it outside of the university or inside?
In terms of experiential learning?
Yes.
I think there are benefits to both, and we offer both. I think for some students that maybe are more introverted, maybe starting small and having that experience on campus is better, and then maybe moving up with some support through the experiential learning office to something that's external. I think it depends a lot upon the students, and I think offering both gives you that luxury, I think, of choice in determining what's right for you.
How do you get students to kind of take advantage of the experiential learning and to kind of break outside the box of just being learning in the classroom? How do you get them to learn through internships or stuff like that?
I think one of the ways that you can do that is by tying it into the service element of what we do. We're a very service-oriented school, so from the get-go, if you remember from your freshman orientation, you were involved in some sort of service project. So that already kind of drives home the message that, you know, you're not just here to attend classes or to maybe go to a social event, but you're going to be part of that community. And part of that community starts with service and then kind of works in with that experiential element. How do you take what you learn in the classroom and bring it outside of that world? So I think you start early. You start as, you know, first year freshman, you get folks involved with service projects and maybe build up from there.
Just the last one.
Yeah. So how do scholarships like impact the way students maybe get jobs? Like, do they impact job placement and how?
Yeah, I think they do. I think, at least when I was looking for my first jobs, one of the, I think, hallmarks of my resume was being able to put on that I received an academic scholarship that was merit-based, and I had another one that was need-based. And I think those things do mean something to people because they get to read between the lines, right? Your CV or your resume doesn't say everything, but when they see those markers on there, they can say, well, that student really strove to do more than just attend. They were looking for other opportunities to support their education.
How would you say for a student that does have an academic scholarship, merit-based or need-based, to put it on their resume? Because I know we have the events on campus to show appreciation to the scholarships and the donors, but how do you show that through your resume?
Well, I think you can have a separate section just for honors and awards, and I would list down to the wire exactly what the scholarship is and maybe a small description of what it's for. I think it should be part, particularly when you're new, you're fresh out, you're a graduate. If you don't have a job immediately upon graduation, I would encourage folks to list those because they are accomplishments, and it's something to be celebrated.
What were some of the things that got you through college? Because you went undergrad, then 2 masters, and then your doctorate. So how would you say that experience was?
What were some of the things that got me through it? Well, in terms of
Like,
finances,
did you have work study or did you
Yeah.
just have scholarships?
I always had an assistantship of some kind. I worked residence life for 3 years. I had multiple scholarships and awards. I had several teaching assistantships. There is no way that I could have gotten the education I got without support.
Yeah, I think support is really necessary, and I think that's what today is all about, is gaining that
Absolutely.
support for the students here at the University of Findlay.
Yeah, and we all know, I mean, it's not just, the actual cost that's gone up, but inflation adjusted. College is more expensive now.
Yeah.
So all those factors, I think, are very helpful. And just knowing that you have a university that has multiple options to support you financially is reassuring, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think, I know personally I've had a lot of experience with scholarship, and I wouldn't be here today without that, especially being a double major that I am. So I think
That's
definitely
great to hear.
scholarships.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm the same way. I definitely wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for the scholarships I've received.
that's great.
And a lot of people don't know that if you join band or choir, you get a scholarship as well. So that's one of the things that I'm involved with. I'm in the concert choir, and they give us a scholarship. And they also gave me an endowed one this year.
That's great. Are you able to share that experience with incoming students too?
Yeah, I can. I can tell them about choir. Like whenever, because I used to be an RA as well. So whenever I tell students about different things that they can join on campus to get a scholarship, I say join choir, join band, join orchestra, different like musical things, so you can get a scholarship just for being part of the musical.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. Dr. Anders is retiring, but he was a great professor. I had him for 4 years, and he taught me a lot about music.
That's great to hear. Yeah,
So-
we miss them.
So, what are like some specific scholarships for the College of Liberal Arts that you could describe to us a little bit about those students and what they can get?
Well, I think, if I had a list in front of me, it'd be easier because there are just simply so many of them. We have a couple, I'm thinking of English in particular. We have awards as well as scholarships. We give awards for example, in freshmen in your writing classes, like 104 and 106, we have up to $250 awards just for submitting essays. Best essay can win those awards. But we also have Gebhardt, the Gebhardt Awards, scholarships up to $1,500 for incoming freshmen and second-year students. And there are awards pretty much for every department. So too many to list here, really.
Got you. Thank you very much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Tully, for coming here and talking with us.
Thanks for having me.
Hope to see you around.
All
Next,
right.
we have up Dr. Catherine Fell. She is the president of the university, and she will join us shortly. So, Brittany, how many scholarships have you received? A lot, little,
A lot.
a lot?
Yeah, I've received a lot to come here, and then also through the Western Farm, through our horse sale, we get scholarships from there as well.
I think I might join the equestrian major.
So here we are. We're going to introduce Dr. Fell, the president of the University of Findlay, to talk to us today about the Day of Giving event.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. It's one of my favorite days.
Yeah.
Philanthropy is one of my favorite words.
So, Dr. Fell, can we get a little background on you, what college you attended or colleges?
Of course.
Seen any
I
good
grew up
degrees?
in a small town in Arkansas and was the first member of my family to go to college. I attended a university not far from my town in Arkansas. I went to Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia. Majored in English, had a wonderful college experience. Even though it was a public university, it was quite small with just over 2,000 students, so we received a great deal of attention from our faculty and from the staff at that very fine small university. And in some ways, the University of Findlay reminds me of that time. And then I earned a master's degree in English at Louisiana Tech University in Ruston, and then a PhD in English at Texas A&M.
So what does providing scholarships mean to you?
Well, it means the difference for students like me. I certainly received financial aid when I went to college. I received help from a community group as well as scholarships at the college I attended. And so when I see students coming to the University of Findlay hoping to make all the money work, I completely understand that. And it means the difference between opportunity and lack of opportunity.
So how have you seen that impact here at the University of Findlay?
Well, I've seen thousands of students come through the arch and go out the arch, and I know very well that many of them would not be able even to enter, and certainly not to stay and graduate without the help of generous donors. And so I see it making a difference in the lives of many, many students every day.
Yeah, it's definitely made a impact on my life.
Yes.
And
We even support the horses who go to college. But
Yeah.
we really take more seriously our support for our students.
So, did you know that 99% of students are on scholarship?
Well, as a matter of fact, I did.
Well, we're two of those 99%.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you to the donors for your generous donations. I know whenever you get a endowed scholarship, you have to write a letter, a thank you letter,
Yes.
to your donors, and I always appreciate that because I get to tell them a little bit, and I meet them at the luncheon that happens in the spring.
Yes.
And I always have good conversations with my donors.
It's a very special event, isn't it, for the
Yes.
students as well as for the donors. And I think that Scholarship Luncheon every spring encourages students to do the same when they're able.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a legacy that just keeps on giving.
Yeah, I think definitely like when I'm more settled in life, I will be the type of person who wants to
Right.
give back to this university because it's done so much for me already.
Good. That means you're very well educated.
So have you witnessed like specific students excelling on and off campus because of a scholarship?
Well, I have, certainly. We have students at the university who are actually recipients of a scholarship that my husband and I set up for students who are athletes either on cross country or in another aspect running, because our family is made up of maniacal runners. So it's very meaningful to us to see students like our children enjoying the benefits of that scholarship.
That's great.
Have you seen students benefit from experiential learning?
Yes. The example that springs to mind is Oilers Serving Abroad.
Okay.
Which is sort of the quintessential story about service and how it impacts the lives of the students who are giving that service. And I believe that group was organized from its inception by students, and now it's grown. There are more students participating. I know that one group of students in that particular program has made intercultural relationships a key to their education, and I think those relationships will inform their careers as they move out of after graduation. And I think they will be serving not only wherever they are locally, but abroad throughout their lives.
Yeah, I'm actually going to Japan this summer. with
Are
the
you
university.
really?
Yes.
Good
Through
for
the Kake
you.
program.
Wonderful. I love the Kake institutions and really all of our partners in Japan. Good for you.
Yeah, I should take some pictures and I'll bring them back and
I
show
hope you
everybody.
will. And tell me how many new foods you consume.
It's going to be a lot.
And I want to know what you think about it.
Oh, I will.
Great, thanks.
So, how do you feel about Brown's Edge and the partnership that we recently signed with them? I believe it was last year.
I think the Brown's Edge partnership has allowed our students the opportunity to get experience with a professional team, an experience that is very difficult otherwise to have. And for that reason, I think it's a great investment for the university. And in addition to offering hands-on learning for the students who go into those internships, we also have access for many more students to learn from the professionals who come and mentor them and speak to the skills and characteristics needed for a person to thrive in that environment.
Yeah, my roommate actually did the Brown's Edge partnership last semester,
Good
or
for
this past summer.
him. Good for him.
He had
I
a
hope
good
it went
time.
well. Good. I hope he learned a lot.
And he found a job right after graduation, too. so
That's
I
the
think
whole idea.
It helped him out.
That's the whole idea. I like it when it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, not only do they provide internships, but they also provide a scholarship as well, correct?
They do. Yes, they do. And most of the students who participate have scholarship support from other sources as well. So you add the Brown Scholarship into the mix with all of our other contributions, and we've got a good foundation for students who need it.
Yeah, because we have the Great Lakes Grant for anybody that
Yes.
has an internship on campus.
Yeah, see? You know this business as well as I. Have you thought about being an advancement officer?
My roommate's actually interning for advancement right now, so
good.
I don't know. Maybe I'll follow in his footsteps.
I think you should give it some thought.
I'll
Yeah.
think about
It's
it.
it's a very good way to make a meaningful difference.
Yeah. The Great Lakes Scholarship has greatly benefited one of my good friends. She actually was the internship. I don't remember the title of it, but she was the highest internship through got recognized for that from the university.
Good.
That's great.
Good. Wonderful.
And, yeah, so she was super excited, and the Great Lakes definitely helped her with Challenge Champions questions.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And she had a good experience.
Yeah, Great Lakes helped me last summer with my internship back home. I got paid, and I was able to travel between home and work, which was in Chicago. It was about 45 minutes away.
Good for you. Well, that's very encouraging. So we'll keep working with donors to, you would suggest that we should stay with this program of raising money for scholarships?
Very much so. It's helped me. It's helped Brittany and her friends as well.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. But along with the Great Lakes and the Browns, we also have worked closely with the Washington Center in the past. too.
Wonderful. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I know students have had great opportunities there to spend time in DC and to work, not just to spend time there as a tourist, but to work actually in some of those government offices. It makes all the difference. And not only do you learn from the experience as to whether this is an avenue for you, but you make connections there that can help you in areas you never thought about.
I think networking is super important. So having these programs that allow you to network and scholarships that allow you to network, I think that
Good.
really helps
Yeah,
students
I agree.
gain
I
jobs
agree.
after graduation.
Right. And
Yeah.
you make friendships. It's not just networking in the superficial sense, but in the real sense of building lifelong friendships and having mentors that can serve you not just for the term of your internship.
Well, thank you very much,
You're very
Dr. Fell,
welcome.
for coming and speaking to us.
Thank you so much. Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks.
So, did you ever participate in the Great Lakes, Brant?
I didn't, but one of my great friends, she is participating this semester, and it has really helped her out a lot.
Okay. Well, I had a friend that did the Washington Center for a semester, last semester actually. So, so far we have 20 donations. That is great.
Yeah, that is really good.
Hopefully we get some more. If you want to watch this, just tune in. And we have $2,100. That's great.
Yeah, that's great. That's a scholarship for a student.
That's
so.
definitely a scholarship for. I'm looking at a scholarship, so help me out.
All right, our third guest is Dr. Julia McIntosh and Dr. Allison Bear from the College of Education.
How
Correct?
you guys
Yes.
doing?
We're doing very well today. It's a beautiful day.
Great.
It is.
I'm Will, and
I'm Brittany. Nice to
if
meet
you
you.
guys
Nice to
just
meet
making
you.
sure. So how do you like the College of Education? Is it good? I know a few education majors.
There's a loaded question.
They've all said good things. I've all heard
That's
positive
excellent.
things.
I am
very
the dean of the College of Education, so I would say our College of Education is fabulous.
Yes.
We do
And I
very,
will
very
back that
well.
up. Totally back that up. It is the best.
It is the best, and we really do believe in experiential learning. We send our students out every year so that they can have those experiences, and then Dr. Bear actually runs our Clubhouse program, which has been a very successful reading program for area students that their parents bring them to campus to be tutored. So I don't know if you want to add a little bit about the Clubhouse or.
Sure. So the Clubhouse Reading Center, it's over there at the College of Education, and we offer 3 different programs, either individual tutoring or small group tutoring, or we have a reading motivation program called the 1882 Club, which of course is aptly named, right? And all of our programs are free. So we offer all this free programming, free tutoring, everything for area children. And this last semester, as of last week, we just finished, we were working with 80 kids a week.
Wow.
This summer we'll be working with, right now I'm anticipating 50 kids for just one program. At our highest we had 110 kids a week.
Oh my gosh.
That's great that
Yeah.
you're giving back to the community so
Yeah.
well.
And it's all with our education students. It's all kinds of opportunities for our students to be
Experiential
working.
learning. Great
Exactly, that's exactly what it is.
And even though you said it's free for the students who come,
Yeah.
but it
Yes.
is heavily funded by donors.
Yes.
It's also funded by area businesses that support some of our
Very much
programs.
so.
Very much so. So we are very dependent on that. So it
Yeah.
not only benefits the students who are here studying education because they learn more about how to work with students one-on-one with students who are struggling with reading, it also helps the students obviously in the community perform better
Exactly.
in their
Benefits
school.
future students.
Absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely.
And
So-
it gets all of these kids on our campus, right? So they feel really comfortable on the University of Findlay campus, and they want to find out about programs, which is that's kind of fun too.
Well, that's a great way. Like, not only do donors help with scholarships, but they help with programs like that here on the
Exactly.
University of Findlay.
Do you guys have
Very
any
much
other programs that donors help with?
Absolutely, they help with our scholarship programs, and that's our biggest thing, so please give. Today's about giving, because
Yes.
we want to help students, and there's matching money out there for the university scholarships, but it is a pleasure for me to serve on the selection committee for scholarships, because we have a lot of students who need that money, and I personally benefited myself when I was in school from a scholarship that I received to go to school. I wouldn't have been able to do that without a scholarship, so to be able to help be on that team to select the candidates, but then also meet with donors who help students, and we have a luncheon where we bring those two groups together, and it's just very rewarding for the donor to see where their dollars are going and to help students who are currently here studying education.
Yeah.
And it does, it benefits all of our students, and a lot of the education, if you look at it this way with education, every single person is where they are today because of a teacher, right? So when we are supporting these excellent teachers, these students who are going to become teachers, we're just supporting totally our future
Yeah.
and everything that's going to come. So any scholarship money that's given, it's just, you always know that it's going beyond this one person. It's going to a greater community.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So why is it important for you to give back to the university?
Myself personally, I was one of the however many donors you said you had today, so right away when I opened my
Thank
email
you.
this morning, I made a donation. I also give to another scholarship that is for College of Education majors, so I give out of my paycheck every paycheck that I get, and I think it's important to give back to this institution. I'm very proud of this institution. I'm proud of what we do every day, and I think it's important to pay it forward and help other students have this experience.
Yeah.
I agree. And I would say, too, that I give in a chunk. That's what I just prefer to do it that way. But anything that I can give to this institution makes my life better as well as everybody else's life better.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of spreading the joy of what we do here, because it really is a student-centered environment. It's all about you guys. And anything that we can give to support you, it just makes everything better.
Yeah, definitely.
It definitely helps us out when we receive scholarships. It
Yeah.
helps our parents out.
Right.
And it just helps us give back in the future, because it's like if you've been helped, you want to help out later on.
Right. It is that idea, like Julie said, the pay it forward kind of thing, I think is so important. And I think it makes us a better person. It makes me a better person when I'm giving.
Off the top of your head, do you know any scholarships that are, like, do you know any descriptions of scholarships that you can think of for College of Education?
We have several, I think we have over 40 scholarships that are for College of Education majors.
Okay.
So some of the donors have made those very specific. They want it to be for someone who is going to go into early childhood or intervention specialist. Some of the scholarships are more general. They're open to any education major. We have one scholarship that was recently started that's for an education major who's also in Marching Oiler Brass. So some donors are very specific about who they want to give to, and some have been more open. But they definitely have that desire to support education and future, so they've specifically designated those funds for education majors.
And that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because
And
if I as an educator, I know what's coming, I know what's out there, and I know what we need, so I'm going to support that.
And we do have some donors who a teacher made a difference in their lives.
Yeah.
So they want to give back to education because of that teacher who made a difference. So they may not have personally been in education, but they know the
Right.
importance of education.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So have you witnessed scholarships playing a vital role in the success of one of your students?
I've seen it in many students. I've been here for 13 years, so I've seen students who really were struggling, and that scholarship helped them so much. It also helped focus them and reward them
Exactly.
in the chosen field that they have. So I think all the students I've seen in the College of Education who are recipients have just been successful and done well, and it's almost made them increase their pride in what they've done.
Right. And there's a sense that they know that the institution and the greater community is supporting them and what they want to do. I think of two students that I worked with through the Gateway program a couple years ago, and they got scholarships, and they didn't think that they would ever go to college, and they ended up here at this excellent institution because of scholarships. And they started out as Gateway program, and they're like getting over 3.0s, and they're just really strong students. So, yeah, that kind of support it goes beyond monetary to, like Julie said, there's a self-confidence kind of thing that says people believe in me,
Yeah.
and so I'm going to do my very best, and I'm going to give back.
Yeah, I'm definitely like that. I think that having scholarships, oh my gosh, somebody believes that I can do
Yeah.
this. Like,
Right?
makes me work harder, a lot harder.
Yeah, I'm the same way. When I first got my acceptance letter to University of Findlay and the scholarships, I jumped up and down. I was just so excited, and I was
As
like,
it should be.
"Yay! I can't believe that I got these scholarships."
Yeah. And it's that whole community raising people kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
That whole community support thing, I think it's just vital.
Yeah.
It's vital.
I think that's something that Findlay really strives to be as a community in itself, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, not only the university is kind of a community, but also reaching out into the actual Findlay Hancock
definitely.
community
Absolutely.
and be a big supportive community for these students.
Yeah.
Yeah, since we do a lot of service throughout campus.
Right.
Even when we first come on campus, we do service
Yeah.
projects.
And in education, our students are out in the classrooms all the time. So they're out in the schools working with kids, like from their very first semester here.
Yeah.
And so we're like all over the place.
Yeah.
Lots of support.
That's great hands-on learning for
Yeah.
future teachers.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're kind of proud of that.
So, like, student teaching and scholarships kind of go hand in hand a little bit.
Students.
Student teaching, like when the students go out to the schools and stuff.
We have experiential learning in every year of our
Every year.
program. So
Every
student
year.
teaching
Yeah.
is a full semester, but every year they are out in the schools. So
They're out
that
there.
time increases each year that they're out.
Oh, wow.
But so student teaching, yes, that's their senior year and their culminating experience, but they have a lot of teaching experience prior to that. But the scholarships, again, help them stay in school, help with obviously the financial aid that they would have to pay back
Right.
at the end. So that does help them
Right.
Yeah.
meet their goals and their dreams of becoming an educator.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it's the dream, right?
Yeah.
It is. It is. And it's a worthy goal.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you get a lot of students that stay in the area after they graduate?
You know, a few years ago, we always had to tell students that they needed to head to states that were high need and high. There were a lot of people moving into the southern states, the Sun Belt states. We would tell students they needed to go there. But within the last few years, there have been a lot of retirements, and now we're heading into a teacher shortage.
Yeah.
So our students are finding positions locally. Most of our graduates last year, we can say 100% of our students who sought positions received positions, and most of those locally.
That's
Wow,
great.
That's great. Well, thank you both for joining
Thank you
us.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having
to
us.
see you
This has
around
been great
campus.
fun.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you. You guys
Nice
are awesome.
meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, next we have up is one of my friends. You know, I see her all the time whenever I visit her office. She's kind of one of the coolest people I know.
Oh, thanks.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Hi.
Do you know Brittany?
I don't know you officially, but it's nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Nice
I'm
to meet-
Crystal.
Okay. Hi.
And Crystal, you are in charge of, let me read this off, see if I can get it right, service and community engagement.
That's right. Yeah.
You send out, or you help send out all the campus compact emails.
Yeah. Nope, that's true. So, our office is Service and Community Engagement, and been around since 1997 on our campus. And our main goal is just to connect our students to our community through service projects. And so we do lots of different advertising, lots of emails, really trying to get students to think beyond the campus and think kind of about how they can learn through their service.
So, in what type of programs do you do to get that community outreach with the students?
Great question. So they start off with a freshman orientation service project, which is before they even start classes on campus. And we really want to welcome them to the local community through having them go off campus during orientation weekend. And so for that program, we introduce them to the community, but also to each other, because when they're freshmen, they don't really know a lot about each other, about the campus. And so it's like a team coming together to complete a goal, a big goal of helping. We usually have like 600 to 800 people involved in that one day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the kickoff to service while they're at UF. And then throughout their years, we have residence life staff that do service with their floors. We have student clubs that do service, and we have classes that put service into their classes as well.
How do scholarships help encourage service?
Oh, that's a great question. We have some scholarships that service is a requirement to apply for them. And I think that when I think about service, it's a good way to show that they're learning beyond just the classroom. So I think every time you're at college, whether you're in the classroom or outside, you can learn. And so when students are applying for scholarships, it's awesome to show that they took the time to invest in Findlay as their new hometown.
Yeah.
Whether it was just once, whether it was as a group project, as part of a class, they're kind of showing that they took that extra step beyond just classwork.
Yeah, that community engagement
Yeah.
definitely looks good on resumes. I mean, a
That's
lot
true.
of people look for that. How involved are you going to be? And
Yeah. And we actually have some students that do ongoing service at like a nonprofit, for example, and then that nonprofit's executive director will write letters of references for those students. And so that is just one more piece to add to the portfolio as they
Yeah.
graduate and they're looking for jobs, is the fact that they can go ahead and apply what they're doing and what they're showing in the community when they're applying for jobs.
What are some of the organizations on campus that have affected service the most, or done service the most?
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. We have lots of majors that do service as part of their curriculum, but we also have a lot of student clubs that do service. So there's Oilers Serving Abroad, there's Reaching Out Digging Deep, which is a Bible study that does service as well. There is Stride, which is specifically targeted at the population of children with special needs. And so our UF students help with Special Olympics through that, which is a really fun program and an ongoing service program. Habitat for Humanity. So there's lots of clubs that do service around our campus.
Well, I'll say I know I do 15 hours a semester.
Yeah, yep. And different honoraries also require that. So
Yeah.
like Mortarboard or Aristos Eclectos or some of those honor societies also do service as part of their mission as
Yeah.
an honor society.
Yeah, I know. We've heard a lot of great things about Oilers Serving Abroad this year.
Yes.
We know two girls in the College of Liberal Arts who were just
Yeah.
there, Emily
Yeah.
and Sarah.
Okay,
And they just
awesome.
went on the last trip.
Yeah.
And heard a lot of great things about that program.
Yeah, that program is so awesome because it goes 3 times a year to the same place in the Dominican Republic. So we're trying to really have a lot of change happening there by going to the same place. So we are trying to make it where it's not like we parachute in, try to help and leave. We're trying to do this ongoing service in partnership with people down there in the DR.
Yeah. I think it's great.
Yeah.
So how do scholarships and service learning kind of work hand in hand? Do you think scholarships promote students getting more involved in service learning opportunities here?
Yeah, I think they do. I think scholarships are almost a reward, or they're a way to really show that we're thanking the students for their involvement. So it's so important. We know that like it's a good thing to help other people. It's a good thing we learn from this experience. But it's almost a way of us being able to say thank you to our UF students for the many ways that they are out in the community.
Yeah. Not only do they get thanks from like a personable feeling, like going out in the community and oh, I did this, that like makes me feel good about myself and giving back. But then they get thanks in a scholarship
way
that
as
helps
well.
them.
Yeah.
What did you do for your service project when you got to campus?
I went to a farm and I think we did some like farming type stuff and planting.
Yeah.
I don't.
Probably part of the community gardens.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah.
But I do know that two of my close friends, actually my best friend now, she met one of our good friends on her service learning.
Yeah.
Like that's how she met one of her friends, was through that program.
That's cool.
And I think that I mean, not only like you said before, like you meet people in the community, but you meet people here on campus too, and you make those connections,
Yeah.
and they're all really important.
And I don't know if there's alumni watching, but we always look for help with that project, and that's a really cool way for young alumni. Like we want them to give financially, but it's cool to give with service hours back to UF as well.
Yeah.
And so sometimes our alumni will come back and help lead the freshmen out on the projects.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of cool because they're like able to talk about the university life, what they did, what clubs they were a part of, what faculty were their favorite teachers,
Yeah.
you know. But it's a way for them, they're serving our campus with helping our freshmen, but they're still also giving back to Findlay in Hancock County. So
Yeah.
that's something that any alumni that are interested can help with too.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I know my roommate actually was involved in the, I don't know the name of it, but she worked with international students. And they went to like different, and they
Yeah.
volunteered in different
Okay.
places.
That could have been the Service Ambassadors
Yes,
program.
that's what
Yeah.
it was.
And so, yeah, that is a program with our Office of International Education and in my office. And we know it's sometimes hard to step outside your comfort zone and talk to people who are different.
Yeah.
So this program, we pair American students and international students together, and they go off campus and serve. And so we're trying to break down cultural barriers by kind of forming a team
Yeah.
and saying we're here together to help other people. So we're not really different. We're not concerned that, oh my goodness, you're just so different than me, but we're like common as we're all Oilers and we're all helping the community together.
Yeah.
So, and through that, I think hopefully we can break down a little bit of cultural barriers or stereotypes too.
Oh, definitely. I think that definitely has opened my roommate's horizons. Yeah.
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 Yeah, the different programs we have on campus where we
Yeah.
do service and have international students there, I think has showed me that anywhere you go, you can do service, and anywhere you can go, you can give back to your community.
That's so true. And my goal is, my hope with doing all of these efforts is that every Oiler, when they graduate, are able to continue to help the community. So whether it's coaching Little League, being on a nonprofit board, having a leadership role with nonprofits, or even something as simple as going and cleaning up a river in their hometown, I really feel that life has a lot of meaning to it when we help other people. So when they graduate and they move on and they're alumni, I hope that they can give back, not even if they're not in Findlay, that's fine. I want them to give back in wherever they are throughout the entire world.
Yeah, I like what you said. Life is about giving back, and I think that's what today is about, and giving back to the students,
Yeah.
and also giving back to our community.
Right. So, yeah.
Do you have anything else you would like to include?
I just think, it's a great opportunity. This day of giving, of course, is about financial donations, but like I said, it's great to give financially and in other ways too. So I'm really excited when people think of outside the box of different ways of helping people. And financial education and philanthropy by giving is certainly one huge way that you're helping. And a lot of times we don't see the effect, but we know it's there.
Goes hand in hand.
Yeah, we might not ever meet the people we're helping, whether it's service or giving with money, but we're still, I believe it just keeps carrying forward, kind of that pay it forward mentality.
Yep.
So we're giving forward. People have helped me, and so I have a great opportunity to help other people.
Yeah, I think that's
agree.
fantastic, and I think that's the best thing about service learning.
Yeah, and about giving in general, no
giving,
matter
yeah.
how it is. Yeah.
Yes.
I've always had a good time doing service on campus or off campus, so I can't complain.
And if anybody's interested in other service opportunities, they can certainly stop by the Buford Center for Diversity in Service. We have a lot of intercultural and diverse experiences that involve service and learning about other people. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's so nice to see you.
Nice seeing you
Nice
again.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. So next we have up
Next we have Dr. Linda Peck and Abigail Peterson from the Animal Science program.
How are you ladies doing?
We're doing just fine.
So have you guys? Oh, you want to
Go
start?
ahead.
Okay.
No, okay.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. So what are your roles as they pertain to the students at the University of Findlay?
Well, I'm a full professor in biology and animal science. I am the acting director of the pre-vet program, and I've done that for the past 30 years. So I interact with a lot of students and advise. So I have a lot of interaction there.
Yeah. Abigail?
Because I am a student, I have a lot of interaction with a lot of the same teachers. Because of animal science, we have the same teachers all the time. I've had even Dr. Peck before, but can you repeat the question again? I didn't quite hear it.
Oh, no, you answered it well.
Oh, okay. Didn't quite hear it.
Well,
How have scholarships helped you, Abigail, for going here or just being able to be carefree and do whatever programs that you want to do?
Scholarships has really, really helped. I've been here for 5 years, so it's able to help me get through schooling and be able to help me get into the classes that I want to, and like whether it be for my major or even for like business classes for general education, or even just trying to get into a lot of programs that are around campus to kind of broaden my horizons, different people and talking to different people.
Dr. Peck, are there any specific scholarships for animal science majors?
Oh, there's a lot of scholarships. My husband and I've been involved in endowing 3, and my husband and I endowed one specifically for animal science pre-vet majors on behalf of my father and his father. So there are a lot of scholarships for animal science majors, but also because the animal science major is part of the College of Science. There's a lot of scholarships for the College of Science, like the Dow, but like there's the Ferguson Farms. There are a few scholarships that we go ahead and we split between the equestrian program and the animal science pre-vet program specifically. So there is a lot of scholarships.
Yeah. How do scholarships kind of turn into internships and then turn into going to grad school? I mean, that's a big thing with your program, I feel like.
Well, one thing that scholarships do is that they enable a student to be able to, number one, maybe not be able to not have to work as many hours during the academic year, because getting into professional school, grades are extremely important, and it's one of the harder schools to get in. And so therefore, in order to not have to work quite as many hours, if you can get an endowed scholarship, or we're able to award a hardworking student with an endowed scholarship, that really, really goes ahead and helps. And then if you go ahead and look at the contacts that are made, students many times will go ahead and, like with the Ferguson Farms, there's just contacts to be made that can go ahead and lead into internships itself.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of friends in the animal science program, and they talk about how scholarships have definitely made a big impact in their lives and definitely have enabled them to do better in school and be able to get the grades needed to go to grad school or vet school.
Yeah, I remember when I was a student at Ohio State, it certainly helped me, and I know that it helps them too.
Yeah, definitely. So have you witnessed certain students who have the scholarships have played a vital role in their life?
Well, there's been so many over the years that I know so many of my students and are able to help in the selection process. So their money like that is just enabling them to go away with less debt, because they've got another 4 years. Once they leave here, they've got another 4 years to go. So that's extremely important. But they just go ahead and really, it also gives them a sense of accomplishment. I remember the first one that I got that, you feel like, wow, somebody really noticed that I did well. So in itself, that is really worthwhile. And it's a good thing to put on your resume.
Oh, definitely. Abigail, how do you think, what does it mean to you and your fellow students when you receive a scholarship?
As she was saying, I've gotten some myself, and I was really surprised when I saw them that I'm like, wow, somebody's actually paying attention to what I'm doing, because for a while there, I just felt like I was falling through the cracks. I was not doing as well as I should have, but seeing the scholarships and having the help from them has helped me to realize that the school actually does care for their students.
Yeah, I think that's great. We talked about earlier how a scholarship makes a student be like, oh my gosh, somebody believes in me. Somebody wants me to do well, and I think that's the goal of scholarships.
Absolutely, and that's an important part of the goal, because the animal science program is the largest program on campus, and so I understand how certainly students can feel that they're falling through the cracks, but we know we're a small department. We know how everybody's doing it. There's no hiding.
Yeah, I think even though you guys are a big program, it seems like everybody kind of knows their teachers very on a personal level basis, and I think that's the great thing about Findlay. When you go to some of those bigger schools and you're sitting in a lecture hall of hundreds of students, you can definitely feel, and I think that Findlay provides that more one-on-one experience.
Yeah, and let's face it, we need to know our students because we're writing letters of recommendation for both jobs and internships, and not just in animal science, but also in all the health professions in general, because I teach anatomy and physiology. So it's important that we get to know our students, and I would say that we really do.
Yeah, that's great.
What would you say are some scholarships that are some descriptions of scholarships that you have for animal science?
Well, a lot of times it's for a sophomore, junior, or senior for a student that is interested in pursuing a job in the field of animal science or in agribusiness. Because we're a big department, a lot of times it sometimes can be for those students that, you know, are doing very well academically, but then again, there are some that do not have any scholarship or don't have any academic limits whatsoever. And so primarily what we're looking for is aptitude toward animal science, you know, the ability to work in the industry, be able to converse well, and communicate. So a lot of the scholarships are written broadly enough that they're not limiting by their own description.
Okay. And what courses do you teach specifically?
I teach human anatomy and physiology, which is my big load, but I also teach some of the classes in the pre-vet area, like the intro class. I've taught first year experiences for animal science. I teach the application class for students that are looking to go into graduate school or professional school.
Okay.
I supervise the clinical internship where students can go ahead and get practical experience with various types of practice, and so those are primarily what my academic load is.
You have a full load. You're just like working all the time. I couldn't imagine.
It's you know, it's what you do.
Do you prefer small animals or large animals or exotic? Like, what is your, I guess, what's your field of work?
Actually, I started doing food animal and equine for the first 8 years. I was in practice. I actually took care of the university-owned horse herd for 3 years. And then after that, when I came on board full-time as a professor here, as opposed to part-time, then I went into small animal because that was easier to go ahead and to balance the two.
So, Abigail, how have scholarships helped get internships and jobs that you've had or going to have after you leave here?
For me personally, the scholarships have really just gotten me through school and gotten me the confidence that I needed to actually go out and try to find jobs. But it hasn't really helped me to actually get the job that I actually have now.
Yeah.
So it's just getting me through the schooling that I needed, the confidence that I need.
Yeah, giving you that belief that somebody thinks that you are well educated enough to be going for this job.
How hard would you say it is to find an internship being pre-vet?
For me, I wanted to originally go into being in a zoo, so I found a ton of internships, but not being from Ohio originally, I'm from Indiana. The only place that I really knew was Findlay, so I didn't really have the money to be able to go into these unpaid internships in a zoo, and I really don't have anybody around here that could help me get through that. So it's pretty hard if you don't have the resources to be able to get into it or even the confidence.
Believe it or not, one of the best way of finding internships, especially in exotics, is to Google. You go ahead and Google internships in animal science or in zoological medicine, and there's tons. And you just have to go after them. You know, it takes the industrious student to go after them.
Wow, that's great.
All right.
Well, thank you both for
Thank
joining
you very
us.
Well,
much.
thank you.
Nice
Very
meeting
nice
you,
to meet
Dr.
you.
Beck. Abigail, nice meeting you as well.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You too.
Well, it was great learning about how different types of colleges are impacted and how students are impacted by these scholarships.
Very much so. I think that it's great to be impacted by scholarships, and we're impacted. A lot of students on campus are impacted, so just, stay impacted, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Next, we have a College of Health Professions student, Caitlin Redalia.
Redalia, okay.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing well.
Good. So, what exactly is your major, and when will you graduate from here?
I'm an undergrad occupational therapy major, so I'll graduate on Saturday with my undergrad degree, but then I'm here another year for my master's. So.
Wow.
Okay. So OT, so that means you do 5.5 years, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So after I graduate next year, I still have 6 months of field work to do.
Okay. Have you decided on where you want to go?
I'm thinking the geriatric field, a nursing home with older adults is what I want to work with. So, but I could change in a year for sure.
Understandable.
So you work with the Mazza Museum as well?
Yes, I do. I've been a student assistant there for 4 years.
Wow.
I actually was just given the grad assistantship yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So that's exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm going to continue there another year.
Well, that's great. So not only are you getting scholarships probably through OT, but also that's kind of another.
Oh, yeah. The Mazza, I know they have their own endowments that have scholarships that money can go to help them buy art and run all of their programs and everything. But they have an endowment also that helps pay for the grad assistantship I was just given. So I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah. So how is it working with like the young kids that come into the Mazza Museum?
It is so fun. I actually just gave a tour yesterday to a group of second graders.
Oh, wow.
So it's just fun to see their interactions and to see them. A lot of times this is their first trip to a museum at all. So to be able to experience that with them is just something that's really, really great.
Yeah. So how have these experiences at Findlay helped you to prepare and motivate you towards your goal of being an occupational therapist?
Findlay has given me so many opportunities between Mazza. I was on homecoming court this past year. That was great, getting to know all of the faculty and staff, and it's such a hometown feel. So being able to come here with the scholarship that I was given my freshman year, I wouldn't have been able to attend here without that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, same for me.
Yeah, same for us.
Same for us. It's like,
It's one of those things you wouldn't be able to afford the full tuition without
Oh,
that
yeah.
extra push, because I know all the endowments pay for those beginning scholarships, which are really helpful.
and it definitely makes your high school work feel like it was important. Like it wasn't just getting
Oh,
into
yeah.
school, but you got rewarded for your hard work in high school
Where
to come
most
here.
places you don't get
Yeah.
that kind of reward. So
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Why do you think that it's important to give back to Findlay?
I mean, Findlay's given so much to you as students, all of us. I mean, with just the beautiful campus, with what they're doing through the campus right now, with the faculty, the staff, how closely they're able to work with you one-on-one. I don't see why you wouldn't want to give back to a school that has given so much to you.
I agree.
Yeah. Not even just education-wise, just with your whole experience. So.
Yeah, I think Findlay being a small campus, and we can all relate to this, that teachers, you build like a more personal relationship with them than just you're my professor and I'm your student.
You're not just one of 100 in a lecture hall, you're one of 20. And
Exactly.
you know your professors on a first name basis most of the time by the end
Yeah.
of the semester. So that's really great.
It gives you definitely what we've talked about before is a belief in yourself. Like I can do this. They believe in me, especially when you receive a scholarship from those people.
Exactly. And what was there? I think a 99 to 100% donation rate from our faculty.
Oh, wow.
That
Really?
give
I
to
didn't- yeah.
that give to Findlay. I believe it's really high. So that's great to know that they are giving back to us
Because they
as
believe
well.
in the school and they
Exactly.
believe in the students, and I
Yeah.
think that's great. That makes you feel definitely great about yourself. And
I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
have to thank a professor next time I see
Yeah,
him.
I know. It is really high. I know. Well, there was a sign on the door. I think they want 100%, but
So, what kind of hands-on experience have you gotten being an OT major?
well, we do fieldwork experiences throughout. So I actually had a one week pediatric rotation here at Century Health in Findlay. So that was really great, getting to work with local kids too that have sensory disturbances or developmental delays. So that's the first hands-on experience I've had in my program.
So how unique is that? Is it unique in your program that you get to do that, or do most people in your program get to do that?
No, that's something that we all do. We all do a week rotation. Not everyone does it here in Findlay. I'm really interested in the work that one of our faculty members, Miranda Tippie, is doing with home health and all throughout the community, just community mental health. So that's why I was hoping to get placed there, and I was. So.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah.
You had that connection there. So what do you think it means? What does it mean to you and your fellow students when you receive these scholarships and these opportunities for experiential learning?
Well, the scholarship, it just means, someone believes in you. I mean, even if sometimes you don't want to do that extra studying because it's Friday night and you want to do something else. So it just makes you really sit down and think, well, someone believes in me, even if I don't want to do this, like I have to, because they're helping to pay for my education.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you think experiential learning has benefited you?
Well, the experiences I've had out in with my hands-on OT experience, that's something that you don't get in the classroom. When you're working with kids, you can read a case study all day about how you deal with a kid with sensory issues or that has is functioning at a 2-year-old level if they're 5. But until you actually see them and have them in front of you, like, you don't really know how you would handle that situation. So
Yeah.
being able to have that experience is really great.
Yeah.
Would you say the earlier the better when it comes to hands-on experience, or would you say learn the material and then do hands-on?
We did a little bit of both. So about halfway through our course load is when we did that this semester. So that was really great because you had a little bit of info, but then you still, as OTs, were supposed to be flexible and be able to work in the moment. So not having all of the answers was really great. So I like the way that was set up.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So can you explain how your own scholarships have enabled you to be involved and enjoy the successes of your hard work?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've been able to just work on campus, which is great. I don't have to worry about going off campus to find another job, another part-time job. And it's so easy when you work on campus. They work with your schedule. If you're going to work at a restaurant, which is fine, but you can't just call off because I have a test tomorrow. So that was really great. Also, with the scholarship, I've been able to put more extracurriculars on my resume. So this year I was the president of the Student Occupational Therapy Association. I'm treasurer of Mortar Board. I've just been involved in a bunch of different clubs that I don't think I would have been able to do had I needed money to help pay for college.
Yeah, that's great. And we haven't really talked a lot about work study, but that's another great program that definitely helps students here, and it helps me as well. I'm a work study student, and I think, and they definitely on campus definitely works with around your schedule, and they want you to succeed, and that's another thing that helps you here.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's nice because a lot of the offices aren't open on the weekend, so then you have the weekend to kind of get your homework done, get everything, and they close at 5.
Yeah.
So you have the night too to get things finished.
And also,
so I really like working on
and
campus.
also, you get experience, you get to meet people on campus, but you also get to enjoy the other things about campus. Campus just isn't about schoolwork, and that's why we're all here. But there's so much to do on campus, and
Oh yeah.
if you have to work and stuff, scholarships and work study and all that type of stuff provide you with opportunities to be able to enjoy the college life while still being a student here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the scholarships that you get and work study helps you experience more than just studying, because I don't think you experience college to a full level until you're doing extracurriculars like you are and as we are as well.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Because my job at the Mass Museum, I never would have met those wonderful people if it wasn't for that job. That's just not a place that is on my radar as a health profession student.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really great too. You get to explore different areas of the campus.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think Maza and giving tours to the children that come in for various school trips has helped you in your major since you want to work with children?
Oh yeah, it's definitely helped me in my major. It's helped me learn how to talk to children more in a group setting, because that's not something that you do a lot as an OT, but it's more and more prevalent these days, is working with kids in groups. So, and that's hard to get a group of 7 or 8 children to sit and listen to you.
Yeah.
So that's been really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of, how do you think, what has the impact been on you to want to give back to this university? What has the University of Findlay done for you that makes you want to give back in the future?
I think it's just all of my experiences that I've had here. From the relationships I've made with professors to just relationships with my friends. You meet some of your lifelong friends in college. So that's another point that why I want to give back to a place that's given so much to me.
Yeah, just appreciating the place that gave you your education, gave you the opportunity to meet some amazing people and learn from great people as well.
I definitely agree. I think these past 4 years have been great for all of us, and we've learned a lot. But thank you for stopping by with us.
Thank you.
Wish the best for you in OT.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you both.
Good luck.
Thanks. You too.
So next we have Hannah Dunbar. She's going to report on some people. And who is she talking to? Do you know who she's talking to?
She's talking to representatives from the College of Pharmacy.
Yes. I think the new dean of pharmacy, Deborah Parker, and Suzanne. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name, but you know, we have hard last names that happen sometimes. Brittany, have you worked a lot on campus? Do you have a work study job?
Yeah, I work in the computer labs. On campus, so work study has definitely helped me be here and be able to provide those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I have 4 on-campus jobs, so it's kind of difficult having 4.
Yeah.
I work a little more than I'm supposed to, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But thank you. We're actually going to jump to Hannah real quick, so thank you very much. Bethra.
Deborah Parker from the College of Pharmacy. How are you guys doing today?
Great, good, thank you.
We're just going to talk to them a little bit about what their opinions are on Day of Giving. So to begin, besides being faculty members, how do you guys interact with students on and off campus?
I guess I can go first. My name is Deborah Parker, and I'm the Dean for the College of Pharmacy. So I interact with the students in a variety of ways. I do teach, so I'm interacting with the students in the classroom. Of course, being in the main College of Pharmacy administrative office, I interact with them on that level too. And I serve as an advisor for the Academy of Student Pharmacists, which is one of our student organizations. So I'm with them on a lot of community outreach type of things, community screenings, educating the public about proper use of medications and that sort of thing.
And Susie, what about you?
Well, my name is Suzanne Serwick, and I'm the college's first shared faculty member. So what that means is I spend 3 days a week at the University of Findlay teaching students, mentoring students, and then the other 2 days a week I am at my practice site, which is Blanchard Valley Medical Associates in Findlay, Ohio. It's a big family practice, 16 physicians, so I take our students from the pharmacy program there with me. So when they have availability or during their 6th year, they come on rotations with me there. So I'm interacting not only on campus, but also at my practice site with students.
And Susie, as an alumnus, why is it important for you to give back to the University of Findlay?
So as you pointed out, I graduated from here, so this is my alma mater. So I know how important it was to me as a student to get scholarships, and especially in those last 2 years, we're in the graduate program, so we're not getting that financial aid. We're really looking towards scholarships and donors and just that feeling of relief when you know you've received a scholarship. So I totally can empathize and understand, how the students are feeling, and just really important for them to get as much financial aid as they can throughout their 6 years.
Okay, great. What about you, Deborah? Why do you think it's important to give back to the University of Findlay?
Well, to reiterate a little bit what Suzanne said, in our program, which is a 6-year program, the last 2 years, our students are no longer eligible for any state or federal financial aid. So any help that they get with their tuition is because of the generosity of others with scholarships. So that's a big deal for them, and a very rigorous academic program where they need to spend so much time studying. If they can have any help with scholarship, that means that they don't have to spend so many hours trying to work another job to support themselves through the last couple years of a long program. So that's important. As the dean, one of my main areas of focus is to try to increase scholarship for our students so that they can have the best experience as a college student as possible. We have scholarships that help support their travel. We require all of our students to do research, but if their research is accepted somewhere and it's not local, they have to travel to present that, which is a wonderful opportunity, but that's also an added expense. So we have scholarships to help with that. We have scholarships to help support students who have come here to the university to explore this as a possible career option. So students who come here to camp is another scholarship. We have scholarship to reward those students who are extremely good scholars, high achievers, and could use that extra help, especially in the last couple years. So it's really important to us.
That's great. I didn't know that there was that many scholarships available through the College of Pharmacy, so that's wonderful. Another question for you guys is, how have you witnessed students excelling in and off of campus?
So I have one example I can provide. At my practice site at BVMA, we take students in their 6th year of the program, so we take them for 1-month rotations. So it's really empowering to me as a faculty member to see them applying what they've learned in the classroom to an actual patient. So they're seeing patients with me in this clinic, this doctor's office, so seeing them apply that knowledge they've learned in the classroom and maybe make a specific patient recommendation and kind of tweak what they've learned to really, hone in on what that patient needs is a really cool experience.
That's awesome. And what about you, Deborah? How have you seen students excelling in and out of the classroom in the College of Pharmacy?
There are so many examples that I could give. One of them is scholarship. We've had students present from coast to coast with their research. So that's one excellent way we've seen them excel. Another, though, is a lot more local. Our students, many times because they don't have to work another job, have the time to become involved in some of the philanthropic things that we do, from helping with our local soup kitchen to doing community health screenings, brown bags where they go through patients' medications with them and help them learn what they're for and how to troubleshoot any problems that they might be having. Those are great opportunities. We have a group that even travels to low-income areas of nearby cities, in addition to being of service in Findlay, to serve even those who may be homeless, to help direct them towards healthcare and medication needs that they might have. So that's huge.
Great. Another question for you guys is, what do you think it means for students who receive financial aid in the form of a scholarship?
So kind of going back to what Deborah's already mentioned, just especially in those last 2 years, if students have received some kind of financial aid so they can, hone in more on their studies or get involved and do some of those outreach programs that we have on campus or, help the needy and so forth. If they have more time to do those things because they've had a scholarship and they don't maybe have to be putting in hours working, I think it really means a lot. And as a former student, I can say how much scholarships meant to me to help decrease the amount of loans and so forth throughout our 6 years.
And you, Deborah?
I would say it means someone cares. That someone who was likely or highly likely to have been a scholarship recipient themselves in the past is willing to pay it forward, and it's a good feeling to those students, and that makes them more likely to do the same thing when they graduate.
Great. We have time for one last question. So how have you witnessed scholarships playing a vital role in the success of your students?
I think just going back to those kind of same examples again, I can think of a couple students off the top of my head that, very much in financial need, whether or not they had, a parent that maybe got laid off or something unforeseen happen, and just really relying on those scholarships. And then they go on to do great things, whether it's on their rotations or whether it's in the classroom or outreach at a community event, helping patients. So I think it definitely means a lot.
And you, Deborah, how have you witnessed financial aid and scholarships help in the success of your students? Maybe a particular story or a student that you have in mind?
Sure. One that comes immediately to mind is a student of ours who's graduating this spring. Her name is Tana, and she has been very involved in research laboratories. She's been accepted to present some of her research, has traveled to Boston most recently, and has decided to go on and pursue her PhD in pharmacology. She's studying cancer research, and I believe that a lot of the time that she's been able to devote in the laboratory and to presenting her research is because of scholarships. So we hope someday we'll see her name again.
Awesome. Well, that's great. It sounds like she has a great future ahead of her. So that's it. We're going to head back to you guys. I'm Hannah Dunbar reporting on Day of Giving with Suzanne Serwick and Deborah Parker from the College of Pharmacy. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Day of Giving celebration here at the University of Findlay. I'm Brittany Siga.
I'm Melody Boyjo. I hope you had a fun time upstairs with Hannah. She was interviewing a few people from the College of Pharmacy, like we said before. The new dean, Deborah Parker, I believe. Sounds about right? Where's you go with that? If it's not right, then, sorry about that. But here we have Brandy Larita. She is the athletic director. She's in charge. She's my boss. One of my on-campus jobs I was actually telling you about, I kind of work with Brandy.
He does a great job.
I try. It's only because of her. She helps me out. We see each other all the time.
All the time. It's a great place to be and a good place to work, I hope.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I keep doing it. 4 years now, going on 5.
Back. That's
true.
We're doing something right in athletics.
Yeah.
So what is your role as it pertains to the students here at the University of Findlay?
So my role is athletic director. I've been in the role for since July, so not quite a year, but been here at the university for 8 years. And it's a wonderful place. It's a place that's become family. And so students, I think, have adopted my children. I have a 5 and a 3-year-old that run around here like they own the place. And people just take them in and love them. So my home has become a place where student athletes will come and hang out. They watch my children. They need a place to study. It's a place that we've come. It's really a family more than just a job for me. So
Yeah, that's great. So why is it important for students to gain scholarships? Why is this whole day important, the Day of Giving?
I think it's very important, and I can speak on this in twofold. Me, as a college student athlete, when I was in college, was fortunate enough to be able to receive athletic scholarship to get my undergraduate degree, and then worked through my graduate degree also through athletics and being able to receive graduate scholarship. I couldn't have done it without it, and I've had such great experience, especially at a small private institution like the University of Findlay. I was able to get that liberal arts small experience that I wanted, that I wouldn't have been able to obtain without those scholarships. So I was personally touched with scholarship and the generosity of donors. Now I see day in and day out how the generosity of donors and supporters of the athletics department at the University of Findlay directly impact our student athletes, whether it is through a scholarship or it's through operation and operating funds to give them the student athlete experience we strive to give them daily. That's our goal, is that our student athletes leave here thinking, I wouldn't have wanted to go anywhere else. And I think as general students, we hope all of the students at the University of Findlay leave thinking, I wouldn't change anything about my college experience. And I think that the generosity of our donors in giving back, it's the reason I give back, is to be able to help in that experience.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Like, so has there been a specific student that you think has really benefited from scholarships and from athletic scholarships?
There's a couple that come to mind. One that we have highlighted a lot this year who has been successful both academically and athletically is Chris Reaper. He was a standout football player, but it went far beyond that for Chris. He finished his MBA in 5 years, so he did his undergraduate and master's degree with a 4.0 GPA. And both undergraduate and graduate. I'll knock on wood because he's finishing his master's now. But he was able to complete all of those things and excel and really be an ambassador of what we expect from our student athletes and showcase what it means to be a student athlete because of the generosity of the endowed scholarships he received and the general athletic scholarships he received. I don't think we would have been able to attract such a high-performing athletic and academic student athlete without those scholarships. So he's a great example. Jake Miller, who's behind the camera so you guys can't see him, is another one that I think from an athletic perspective and academic perspective has really benefited from the generosity of the university and of our donors to be able to excel competing and then also academically. So I could probably go through a long list of student athletes who are able to be here and get the great education at the University of Findlay because of the generosity of donors and what they do to give back to the university. So we couldn't operate in athletics without the gifts and the support that we get from alumni and friends of the university and supporters of athletics. We wouldn't be able to do all that we do. So my job, I guess I would say thank you to all of those that have given, and I hope that people will continue to give and see the direct impact it has.
Well, not only do those scholarships help students gain education here, but they help them be able to participate in athletics and still gain their education. And I think that's fantastic.
It's really important to me in athletics that Division II is all about balance, and so that our student athletes really can be a vibrant part of campus and be involved in clubs and organizations and be residence directors and lots of things they want to do and still be an athlete. And really, athletics is kind of, I always say, the icing on the cake. So you're having a really great college experience, and then you get to be an athlete too. And so it's kind of the best of both worlds. And I think here at the University of Findlay, we can do that.
Definitely.
Brittany, I know you're a equestrian. Do you also show on the team?
I don't show on the athletic team, the IHSA team that's part of athletics. I show on a club sport team. But I know that a lot of students have benefited from working with athletics and getting those scholarships that they provide. And I know a lot of students in football and stuff like that. That has really made a big impact on their life.
I think it also gives us the opportunity to open the door to diversify our campus and to bring students here that maybe couldn't pay the out-of-pocket expense. And so it's not that they're not high-quality students and they're not high-quality athletes, but it's mainly financial, and we can give them then that exposure and that opportunity to be here and experience what hopefully you all love. And the good things that I hear about the experience our students have, those scholarships are invaluable for that, to be able to provide that experience for students.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, how scholarships have helped us and have gotten us where we are today. And we just want to say thank you again to our donors and everybody that's helped us out throughout the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's definitely, like I said, we've said multiple times today, is it gives you a belief in yourself. And I think that's the important thing about scholarships. It's like somebody, I matter to somebody, and my education or my athletic career or whatever matters to somebody here.
Well, and for me, as a donor, I think it's something that I get to see daily, really the impact, and it makes it all worthwhile to be able to say my little contribution has helped impact somebody's experience here, and I can't think of a better place to spend my money.
Yeah, and definitely you see it every day because you get to work so closely. Like, not only are you a donor, but you get to work so closely with all these athletes that you provide this money for, and I mean I think that's great because you get to see hands-on that your work is, and that your donation's making a difference in somebody's life.
It's such a good feeling for me to be able to use money that has been donated and use money that somebody else has put forward to say, we believe in how you're going to use it, and really make an impact. And to see a student who maybe is struggling and thinking, I may not be able to come back, and to be able to make that impact and say, we want you to have the University of Findlay experience.
Yeah.
We're going to help you do it. I can't even put words to that emotion and that feeling it is to really give somebody that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's just makes students feel so important. And so how do you think it makes students feel when they receive this?
I think that it, as you've said, it makes somebody feel like you care. That somebody else is putting faith that you're going to excel and you're going to do the things that you need to do to be successful, and that there's a little bit of, I think, pride that goes into it when you receive that scholarship, and a lot of gratitude. So I think that there's excitement, there's a lot of emotion that goes into receiving a scholarship, and really knowing that somebody else is caring about you and wants you to succeed. Hi, Derek.
That was our very own Derek the Oiler, our great mascot.
Do you have any other thoughts about the Day of Giving, about scholarships, about athletics?
I can't think of a better place to be than the University of Findlay, and it's all about the people here. And I think that you are great examples of the students and the high quality of students that are at the University of Findlay.
I think more her than me, but yes.
It's okay. I would still throw you in that category. But it's such a good place, and so I think that the more we can highlight the great things that are happening at the university, and the more that we can tell our story so that other people know about what they're giving to, the more we can do it, the better, because it's such a great place to be, and it's really a place that, you know, you kind of fall in love with and takes you in and makes you part of the family. And so I think that that's what the University of Findlay is all about.
Being a family, being involved, and
absolutely.
I think I can definitely attest to that because working with you in athletics for the past 4 years has been great. But thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for watching and being a part.
Yeah, thank you. We will go to Hannah up top. She is talking to Ben Sapp and Carrie Teeple. We're going to go with Teeple. So
you're right. Yeah,
thank you, everybody. And we're going to go up to Hannah.
Hi, this is Hannah Dunbar here with Carrie Teeple and Ben Sapp from the Mazza Museum. How are you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you. Good. So we're going to start off with a couple questions. Since they're both alumni, my first question to you guys is, why is it important to you to give back to the University of Findlay?
For me, it's important because I enjoyed the benefits of all that others had given before to me as a student here. And so I just look to the future and think it's important to just pay back what was given to me and let others have the fantastic experience that I had.
Great. And you, Ben?
I echo what Carrie said. I feel that it's so important to enable students that may not have the opportunity to come and to really experience what I had the benefit of when I was a student here, and with help from alums and others in our community and really across the country to help to enable a student to be an Oiler really has a wonderful impact in the world in which we live.
Great. How does the Mazza Museum give back?
Well, we give back to the community as with a lot of our programming for young children, but we specifically give back to the university in many ways. We have classes that use the museum on a regular basis throughout the semester. We have students who use it as a study place because it's a nice, quiet place to come. We have families who come to visit their college student here, and then they enjoy the museum, as well as we provide opportunities for students to work at the museum each year. So, how about you, Ben? What do you think?
Yeah, this past year we had 31 different courses that use the museum as part of their curriculum, from maybe the obvious, the College of Education, the art department, but then the College of Pharmacy using the museum as a way to help families cope with some of the trials that they're going through, and using literature as that coping method. So one of our number one goals is to be that resource to the entire campus and to be a place for everyone.
That's great. So, as a museum, you bring young children in, and how is that important for students and trying to get younger students maybe acclimated or wanting to come to UF? Is there a certain way maybe that goes about?
Well, we believe so, and we at every Fun Day Sunday we talk about University of Findlay. We will have a University of Findlay specific table, Tales for Tots. We always try to make the community understand that we are affiliated with the University of Findlay, and we do our best. We hand out T-shirts to kids who come just to try and put that in their mind right at the start that they could be a future Oiler.
Great, that's a very creative idea. Okay, any other ideas that you have on that?
There are so many wonderful ways that we can make the university or make the Mazza Museum a rich resource for the entire campus.
Great. As staff members, how are you impacted on students besides maybe just working in Mazza? Are you guys involved in any other organizations or anything like that on campus?
Well, I am a member of the Phi Kappa Phi board, so that's a unique way for me to step out of my normal world of Mazza Museum and just work with students in all different areas of the campus. These are top-notch students, and it's so great for me to get to know them. And then, as well, we invite the Phi Kappa Phi students to do a service opportunity at Mazza, so it kind of ties the two worlds together. That's one of the things I do.
How long have you been involved in Phi Kappa Phi?
For 2 years. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. And you, Ben?
So the Mazza Museum is part of the University Advancement umbrella, in which we're raising funds for the museum to carry out its many programs. We also have 15 endowments at the Mazza Museum that are very specific to the needs of the museum, that enable us to carry on our many activities in a way that in the end helps the university with budgeting if we can raise those funds on our own to help provide those many resources to both the university and the community as well.
Okay, great. What do you think it means to a student when they receive additional financial aid in the form of a scholarship?
It means a lot. I know specifically my kids are getting to that point, and also our student workers that we have. I realize it is very expensive to come to college, and this university in particular is so fantastic with its programs, specific programs like occupational therapy and the children's book illustration. We have so many neat niche programs that I know these students would love to come and study, but it can be a burden on their families. So I just would love for the scholarship availability to be there so that we can get the best and the brightest here at University of Findlay to go out and continue the tradition of excellence that we have.
Great. And what about you, Ben?
I agree, and I think that students truly realize the importance of those scholarships when they graduate and get a job, and I think then is when it hits, or they understand it most on how supportive people were and how grateful they are at that point, that these folks, alums, community members, people from all across the country that helped to make their education possible. I think that is when it really hits most.
Great. As alumni here, could you guys talk about maybe your scholarships that you received or how that helped you throughout your time here at the University of Findlay?
Well, I was fortunate to work here and then start school after. So that's a benefit of the University of Findlay that I am so grateful for. I never could have gotten that kind of education, that my master's degree on my own financially. So that's just a reward that we get for being part of the staff and faculty here at the university, and that is built in, I'm sure, in many ways into the budget, that we need that kind of money to have people go to the next level educationally, because it just makes the university as a whole look better to have people with higher education degrees.
Great. And you, Ben, do you want to talk about any financial aid you received while a student here?
Yeah, I was able to attend the University of Findlay for less tuition than I could have at a state school. Okay. And I'm forever grateful for that opportunity. And it's when I get up each morning, it's easy to remember that and how grateful I am, and the idea of wanting to give back both in my time as well as my financial gifts to the university. I'm reminded of that daily. So.
That's great. That is a great reminder. We have time for about one more question. So maybe there's a particular story or student that you have in mind. So how have you seen students, or have you witnessed students succeed from financial aid or scholarships in the past, or maybe right now?
Well, one of our students that interned with us, Jenny Hanf, she is a children's book illustration major, and she received a grant to work with us, and through that grant she was able to come many hours that she wouldn't have been able to do if she were just doing it out of pocket. It paid her kind of a stipend to do that, and she created a picture book for Mazza during that time. So we have a new book coming out, Mazza from A to Z by Jenny Hamp, and through that grant she was able to do that with us, and we're so grateful for that.
That's awesome. I had no idea. Very cool. Okay, and what about you, Ben?
Just to reiterate, Carrie, that is, I think, the key is when you can take those resources and make that connection between what students are studying in their art department or the College of Education, and then tie it together with an outside entity like the Mazza Museum. That's, of course, still part of the University of Findlay, but not specifically directly tied to their department. When you can tie all of that together and to enable a student to be a part with those funds, it really makes what's such a rich experience for the students and the University of Findlay as a whole.
Great. Okay, so that looks like that's all the time we have. Thank you, Carrie and Ben, for joining us from Mazza Museum. I'm Hannah Dunbar reporting on Day of Giving. Back to you guys.
Hey everybody, thank you. Welcome back to the Day of Giving. I'm Will Eddie Boyjo.
And I'm Brittany Sia. Joining us next is Phil Gunder from the Office of Internship and Placement, and Dr. where am I at?
Rensselaer. Dr. Rensselaer.
That's
Did I say that right?
Correct. You got it. Very good. All right.
The College
Good job.
of Business.
The new dean of the college.
Yes, I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you
on your
very
new
much.
Position. Phil, also congratulations on your new position.
Thank you very much.
Whenever we get a title, we'll let them know.
Yeah, we'll post it officially.
Okay, then. As soon as I'm glad, man, I've known you for so long, and now you're just moving on up.
I'll still be around. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm gonna say, don't forget about the little people.
No, I would never do that.
Okay.
Alrighty, so what are your roles and how do they pertain to the students at the University of Findlay? So you're going to have to kind of talk about your new one and your old one, I guess, a little bit.
No, sure. For the past four years, I've been working a lot with students to help them with internship placement, job skill readiness, those sort of things. And the Office of Internships and Placement will still be doing that on very hands-on basis. But with the new position, I'll just be moving up to the College of Business with Dr. Rentschler and trying to be able to focus on the experiential learning and documenting of those experiences for students with the College of Business specifically. So I'm excited.
And Dr. Rentschler?
I serve as dean, so I oversee both the undergraduate and graduate programs, but my role is really to integrate the College of Business within the university community, so find opportunities within the other 5 colleges here at the University of Findlay, and at the same time try to find opportunities within our corporate partners, the community, within the city, and Hancock County.
Okay. What corporate partners do we have, and do they donate to the university?
Many, and they are very giving corporate partners in regards to their commitment to the university. They take an invested interest in our students, and so that's important. And so they are willing to provide the time, energy, and money to benefit our students so that we can position them for the workforce, graduate school, or anything our students want to do.
That's great. When you guys were going through school, did you guys receive
That's
scholarships?
a real long time ago.
Holy cow.
Not that long ago.
Oh.
You guys are just seasoned veterans.
I'm 3 times your age, probably. But I did, and it was one of the ways that I could pay for graduate school. You know, the cost of higher education is going up, just like everything. You know, there is an inflationary cost or a cost of living factor that you have to put into the financial equation, and contributions and assistance from people outside the college, the university, are one way that our students can fulfill their dreams, pursue their passions.
And for me, I'm a UF alumni from 2004 and 2006, and there's no way I would have been here if it wasn't for scholarship. I mean, you know, coming from the background that I came from, where was the cheapest option was really what I was looking for. So without the scholarships that I received, I would have never been into the University of Findlay, and I'm really, really, really grateful for that, because this has been, you know, a really great place for me, and it's given back a lot.
Have you guys given back to the university in more than one way, it being financially, service-wise, mentoring students? I know you're new here, but mentoring at your last college?
Well, I hope that's something I do on a daily basis, so that's part of the job. Well, I won't say part of the job. It's not a job. It's just a great opportunity to come to work with a smile on your face and know that you're going to impact someone's life. And, you know, I'm not trying to make anybody like me a clone of Kevin. I'm just trying to make them the best person that they want to become. And so Findlay allows students to be in those positions.
I mean, very well said, very similar, but, you know, I do donate the small amount that I do financially just to try to give back as much as possible. With the student interactions that I've been having for the last 4 years on an everyday basis, I understand the importance of scholarship. I know, you know, no one would really probably be here if it wasn't for scholarship. So if I can give back just a small amount for what I'm, you know, being able to do and what the university did for me, you know, I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, we had a stat earlier that said 99% of the students here are on scholarship.
I would believe it. I really would.
And then one of our students, Caitlin, she told us that about 99% of the faculty give back to University of Findlay. So we want to say, we know your staff, but still thank you for giving back to us and helping us with our experiences throughout 4 years.
I really think that the people that are here, either faculty, staff, or students, I think they understand that this is a special place to be. So I think everyone kind of feels the same way about why you want to give back and why you want to be a part of campus, whether it's the mentoring or actually financially giving back. And with Dr. Fell being, you know, in charge of things and the board, I mean, they do a great job. So it's a really good place to be and a good reason to give back.
Yeah, so we've heard a lot of chatter about this experiential learning that's going to be happening with the College of Business.
Okay.
So you guys want to talk about that a little
What do
bit?
you want to know?
Everything.
Well, we feel that education is not just in the classroom. It's not your schedule, what happens Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 9:50. It's about what you do outside the classroom that complements what you learn inside the classroom. So we hope that our students participate in a leadership program, do an internship or a co-op, give back and provide service to an agency or part of the community here, take advantage of study abroad, undergraduate research, a lot of things. But we expect our students to be busy all the time.
Now, I know one thing, sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
That you guys had last week was
Okay.
the innovation competition. That was the first one of its kind, if I'm correct.
It was the inaugural competition here at UF.
Here
Correct.
at UF. So how was it? How did it go? Did your expectations meet? What happened?
Well, I'm always surprised but excited about the creative ideas that our students have. And so it was well represented across the university. But if anybody could see what was going on behind the scenes, it was neat to see that, you know, these students are competing against each other for prize money, but they were willing to help each other, assist them in many different ways. And so I was grateful about that. But when it came time to be on stage, they excelled. You could say they hit a home run, each one of them. And so it just set us up, and I hope more students would be encouraged to participate next year. So.
Yeah, and that's endowment funded?
Correct. And so due to the graciousness of Sherry Gardner and Gardner Transportation, we have an annual fund that will go to this, so all students compete on a yearly basis.
Oh yeah, and it seems like a lot of students took interest in that
Correct.
competition. I know I had a friend who placed. Her team was first place in Small Business
Small
Venture,
business,
the watch that
Safely.
opened up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Safely,
very good.
and then she was third with her
Her
equine
yeah,
business as
Horse
well.
Connection.
So yeah.
But I mean, just think about it. I would never think of these ideas from safe drinking water to how to keep your diesel engine warm to how to keep students entertained. So
Yeah.
the scope, the variance is great, but all of those ideas were great.
Yeah. And so, Phil, do you want to talk a little bit about your experiential learning, your new position, what you're going to kind of be doing with the College of Business?
Sure. So, for the last 4 years, and when all the changes happened with experiential learning being a key component of the University of Findlay and our goals and objectives, it's very important because, like Dr. Rentschler said, what you do in the classroom can only take you so far. And I know I've heard a couple other individuals talk about that. And when we reach out to businesses and talk to them, some of the things that they're very interested in all relates to experiential learning. So obviously the internships and placements and co-ops and those sort of things are at the forefront of what everyone thinks about. But leadership and service learning and being able to study abroad and do all these other things that help create who you are as a person that someday will be hired by a business, that's what these professionals are looking for. They feel like they can teach you the ins and outs of what it is to do the job, right? But they're looking for high quality people that have experiences that make their company better and more efficient and good members of their team and those sort of things. So, experiential learning wraps all of that into one kind of experience if you want to look at it that way. So.
And all of this is possible because of donors and
Oh, yeah.
scholarships.
Correct.
And
Yeah, and when he talked about businesses giving back, financially they do a lot, but being able to offer these experiences is another way that a lot of them give back in a different level that sometimes gets overlooked. So
Yeah, offering a scholarship is great, and also offering an internship is sometimes better or equal because us as students need to get out there and see
yeah.
what the job world is going to be like before we actually
and that's,
graduate.
And that's another piece of experiential learning for you guys' sake. I mean, you guys need to figure it out. When you graduate, hopefully you have a plan and an idea of what you want to do. And if you don't have experiences to lead you to that, then it's just kind of crossing your fingers. And this is a long process. It can get expensive. It can do a lot of things, and you want to make sure you have a plan in place to get there. And that's what experiential learning does.
yeah, definitely. So have you personally witnessed scholarships playing a vital role in successes of students?
Every day.
like
Yes,
Phil does
every
all the
moment. Look around.
I mean, yes. I mean, Jake, for example, and I've known him for a long time, but for him to be where he's at now, scholarships played a role in that. Everyone, Jenna Jesko, for example, she's down in Walt Disney World. She's coming back for graduation. I mean, she wouldn't be here if it wasn't, for scholarships. So, to pinpoint an exact example, we could sit here for hours. You guys could probably have examples of that too. So, I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other questions you have for the College of Business?
So, I mean, what do you think it means to a student when they receive a scholarship?
I mean,
What did it mean to you?
Yeah, how did you guys feel when you guys found out that you got scholarships?
I think you look at it as a student sometimes as, it's kind of neat, and you don't kind of quantitative until you kind of step back after the fact and realize, man, like they gave me a lot of money to come here, and a lot of it afterwards, you don't have loans and those sort of things that kind of are a burden. So, as a student, maybe I probably didn't appreciate it as much, but now looking back and you do really appreciate it, and you feel like you're wanted, and you feel like the university is prideful of what you're doing both on and off campus. So it's special. It really is.
Dr. Rensley?
Well, I think it makes you become a member of the University of Findlay family because someone you probably have never met is willing to make an investment in you and your education. So that's something special and unique, and I think that is what makes our institution so special, is that people genuinely care and want to invest in the next generation of alumni and students that go through, that arch every spring.
Yeah, I think it's great that alumni and other donors can just blindly give to people that they've never met. And I think it's a great thing. I mean, I know you get a chance to meet your endowed donors in the spring, because I've been to that luncheon a few times, and I'm always grateful that they have given me, or they have given the university money, and the university picked me for the scholarship.
But someone cares.
Yeah, somebody cares enough to just say,
that doesn't happen a lot.
I care about the future of University of Findlay and the people that come out.
It's the whole pay it forward mindset, right? Someone helped you, so it's your turn to help somebody else, and people believe in that, and it's especially here. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's definitely for me is I love inspiring people, and I think through scholarships, people inspire students. They inspire them to succeed and to work harder and to make their lives better.
I agree 100%.
Are there any exponential learning situations that you guys went through?
Oh man, I was an education major here when I was a student, so our whole program was hands-on, experiential. I was in a classroom from freshman year on, and I can still remember my student teaching experience from 2003, and things that I went through, and that's where I learned a lot about myself, but a lot about what I was doing in the classroom and making it real world. So yeah.
And for you, Dr. Rensley?
Well, I went through a time where, well, let's be honest, philosophically, this wasn't part of higher education. You went to class, someone talked, you took a test, someone talked, you took a test, someone talked, you took a test. And that's what life was, and that's, I guess that was your education in a nutshell. But I'm kind of envious about the opportunities the students have now, and I would kind of wish I was, 40 years younger and I could go back to school.
All right, well, thank you guys both so much for joining us
today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Right now we are a little over $4,000 that we've received so far from donations today on the Day of Giving, the first inaugural Day of Giving. That's great.
$4,000 plus? Man, are you getting a scholarship? I'm getting a scholarship. We're all getting scholarships.
Well, I'm graduating on Saturday, so I won't be getting any more scholarships here. But
I'll take your scholarship, and I'll just make sure that you see some of it later when I make a video for you, okay?
Okay.
We'll do that.
All right.
But our next guest that will be speaking with us is Marsha Latta.
Yeah, from Advancement.
Yes, hi.
How are you doing?
Hey, it's a good day. It's a good day to be an Oiler, right?
Yeah, it's a great day to be an Oiler. So what is your role and how does it pertain to students here at the University of Findlay?
So I serve as the Vice President for University Advancement, and among the responsibilities are working with the alumni for alumni affairs, alumni programming, alumni engagement, raising the funds, the private funds, from individuals, from what folks we call friends of the university, alumni, parents, and others to support students like you, from corporations, foundations and such, and then also the Mazza Museum is part of the portfolio, and community outreach. So we try to get the community engaged in our efforts.
Do you have a lot of students that go out to the community and do service or just represent the university?
We do. I think one of the great things here at University of Findlay, and it's part of our DNA really, is to encourage community involvement. And as you all know, starting freshman move-in weekend, the students are barely unpacked, and they're expected to participate in community service projects. And I think last year for freshman move-in weekend, we had about 60 different projects around the community where students went and they may have painted buildings that are used for, say different United Way agencies or children's organizations, or perhaps litter cleanup along the park trails, just a whole variety of ways with elderly care helping with some of our elder citizens. I know a student group that I supervise. We were in the bowels of the basement of the courthouse going through records that had been part of the flood and still separating things out. All the students had to wear special latex gloves and everything. So just a variety of service projects.
Yeah, I know I've done things when I was an RA. We helped some elderly people shop at Walmart.
Oh,
so we took
great.
them around, got them whatever they needed. And it was a good time. We learned a lot from the people because they're from the community and I'm not. So they taught me about different places to go that are good to eat and things like that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful way for our students to understand that we say that our mission at University of Findlay is to provide students and equip them with the skills to live meaningful lives and productive careers. And a big part of that meaningful life is giving to others, which brings us to today.
So community outreach is awesome. It's what drives students. But what about the Findlay Fund Scholarship? How important is that?
Findlay Fund scholarships are critically important. You both have mentioned that you've received scholarships in coming. Many individuals do like to endow a scholarship in their own name and in their name or perhaps the name of a loved one or something. And those endowed scholarships go on in perpetuity, okay, because only the interest earned off the endowment is awarded every year. So, for instance, if somebody endows a scholarship at $50,000, and if it generates 5% a year, that means that they award $2,500 scholarships from that. But most of us can't do a $25,000 or $50,000 scholarship. But most of us can do $50, $100, maybe $1,000. So collectively, all those add up. And many of those individuals give to Findlay Fund scholarships. Okay. And again, collectively, and that's a big chunk of today is, you mentioned right now just over $4,000 where we are, but any of the funds that are being designated for Findlay Fund scholarships, those are all being matched by an anonymous donor. So really, it's more like $8,000.
Wow. That's fantastic.
And want anybody who's listening to this to know, if you designate $50 or $100 or $1,000 to Findlay Fund scholarships, it's going to be matched today.
Yeah.
And so it's double the money.
Wow.
That's great to know that if you donate some money, that somebody else will come in and say, I appreciate your donation, so I'm going to donate the same amount.
Absolutely. And again, this is a way everybody, if you just graduated last year and you have student loans and, money's tight, we get it, we understand, we've all been there, but do $20 and that becomes $40.
Yeah.
So it all adds up and it all counts.
Yeah. So how important is it for you to be here on this first day of giving?
Well, it's exciting and it's very important to be here. This is our inaugural one. You always have to start something the first time, right? Yeah. And you learn from that first time, and part of it is getting the message out and all. But I have no question 5 years from now, we'll be talking much larger numbers and a lot more students benefiting from scholarships, et cetera. And who knows what else we'll have going on as part of the day. But it's been fun to read some of the online posts and to hear people talking about it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's always fun to be a pioneer.
For this being the first time we're ever doing this here, to already have raised over $4,000, I think that's amazing.
Remember,
like you said,
more like $8,000.
Yeah, more like $8,000. But look, what is it going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Like $4,000 is such a good starting number, which is really $8,000, like you said. So I mean, I think that's a great
Right.
start.
Especially in only 2 hours, that's magnificent.
Yes,
But what
and
is
getting a
part of-
lot of people involved. We're hoping there are many first-time donors too, who say, "Oh, I get those phone calls, but I've never responded. This looks like something fun."
Yeah, definitely. And like they're getting appreciated for their work. Like not only do they, get invited to dinners or luncheons, but this is another way to just show how appreciative we are of these scholarships.
What is the importance of the social media part of this?
Well, I think there's something to be said about feeling like you're part of a bigger cause, and social media is a nice way of doing that. I know I've tweeted out several things already today and had some likes and some retweets and such. But it's a way of knowing I'm not alone in this. I'm one of several people, and I want my family, I want my friends to know that my university is important to me.
Yeah.
And why it's important in 140 characters.
It's always hard to put such a big meaning in such a small space.
Right.
And this means
Right.
a lot to all the students at the university.
Yeah.
Right.
Not only the students at the university, but I think it means a lot to the faculty and staff and everybody here. I mean, Findlay's a community. That's something that we stress throughout this segment. Findlay is a community, I think.
It is, and you were wise to mention faculty and staff too, because we have such caring faculty and staff here. And of course, many of them are donors too. We have our employee campaign going on right now, and to date, the last numbers I saw a few days ago, 2/3 of our faculty and staff, whether they went here or not, but they care about the students that they're teaching, advising, interfacing with. Our housekeeping staff, many of them have stepped forward and made contributions. And then our retirees are also in on the action. So
Yeah, I think Findlay's such a great community, and I think the university is kind of something special, something different than what the rest of the universities kind of do.
yeah, no, it's a good place to be.
Yeah, so why do you give back?
Well, I give the students that I intermingle with, I am so impressed consistently with their work ethic. The number of evenings that if I'm here in the AMU and there are students studying, and they are studying hard, they are focused. Also, I love our students who are involved with our farms, whether as equestrian, equine studies, whether pre-vet, animal science. I love the fact that in addition to their book studies, they also have that practical hands-on involvement with the animals. They have their chore duties. They get up at 5 a.m. to go and feed the baby goats, or to, oh, it's farrowing time, we're having little pigs, and they help with them. And so I've been so impressed working here with the students' work ethic, with their focus. We do still have many first-generation college students who come to us, and many of them are working at least part-time jobs in addition to their full-time studies. And so I know that a little bit of help goes a long way.
Yeah, Brittany's an equine major, so I know she appreciates it.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, definitely. The 5 a.m. mornings, I've been there. I've been there. So, I mean, just appreciating what the students do, whether it's equine, whether it's pharmacy. I mean, I couldn't do what those pharmacy kids do.
That's true, too. We have so many great healthcare majors, and, they're doing service work as well out in the community now as students, and they certainly will be as graduates. So I'm happy, very happy to give back. I never hesitate to talk with alumni or other friends about the importance of donating to our students, because you guys are worthy. You really are.
Thank you. How do scholarships affect student success?
Well, scholarships are important on a number of fronts. First off, they frequently are the determining factor. If a student is looking at multiple institutions, giving students scholarship aid helps them choose University of Findlay. So we know just getting them here, that oftentimes it's a determining factor. And then, as I mentioned, many students have part-time jobs, and we encourage that, and we have many part-time jobs for them. But there reaches a point where you don't want them having to work so many hours that they can't tend to their studies as much as what they should too. So when it starts getting more than working 12, 15 hours a week, that becomes pretty difficult to handle a full-time load of studies with that as well. And so we know that with increased scholarship aid, they can focus more on their studies, and that's why they're here. And we want them to do very well as students. We also know sometimes students have to stop out for a while, take a semester or a year or two off to earn more money. And if we can provide them with more scholarship aid, it lessens the possibility that they have to stop out for a while. And then also I think with some of the other opportunities that help to make college experience even more meaningful, things like study abroad opportunities. If you're putting yourself through and you're working 15 hours a week and studying hard, etc., the idea of spending another $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to go on a study service abroad trip, it's probably not going to happen. It's just too daunting.
Yeah.
And so when a private donor can come through, or multiple private donors can come through and provide that opportunity for a student, they leave a changed person. And when they graduate and go out into society, that experience makes them an even better employee and engaged citizen.
So we just got word that we've raised over $4,500 so far. So how does it make you feel?
Very good. Keep it coming. We have many hours to go.
Good.
So no, that's all terrific. And I know of another sizable one that's coming in that I heard soon. So
That's
we'll
great.
see. So,
Thank
but
you
no,
very
that's
much.
terrific. And thank you for everything that you're doing to help promote the day.
Thank you.
You give to Findlay.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Day of Giving at the University of Findlay. It's been great talking to all these people here, right, Will?
Yeah, I've had a great time. I've had a good experience talking to everybody. I think we've learned a lot. Like, I didn't know half of these things. I didn't know that people are going to match the donations today.
They're matching to Findlay Fund Scholarships.
Findlay Funds. I was
Findlay
not
Fund
aware
Scholarships.
of that. Were you aware?
Yeah, I was not aware of that either. So I think that's great. It was great to learn about all the experiential learning opportunities that the university has to offer and all the scholarships here.
Yeah, I know you and I have both benefited greatly from
Yeah.
internships.
Yeah, we want to thank all the donors today and everybody who's tuned in to watch. Thank you for watching UFTV today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hope you guys tune in again.
Thank you for coming.
That's all, folks.